My name is Wayne Fletcher. I'm 43 years old, and until 11 months ago, I thought I had life wired up just right. I worked as a certified master electrician here in Tampa Bay, pulling in a solid $78,000 a year through Tampa Electric Contractors. Nothing flashy, but honest work that kept the lights on in our modest three-bedroom house in Seminole Heights. Diana and I had been married for 9 years. She was smart, ambitious, and came from what they call new money, the kind that flows from medical equipment, distribution empires, and country club memberships. Her family, the Wilsons, never thought a guy who worked with his hands was good enough for their precious daughter. They made that crystal clear when they insisted I sign a prenuptial agreement before our wedding in March 2016. "It's just business, Wayne," Richard Wilson had explained in his lawyer's downtown Tampa office. "Nothing personal against you, just protecting the family interests." I signed it without much thought. When you're head over heels in love, you do stupid things. And I was completely gone for Diana. The prenup seemed straightforward enough. What was theirs stayed theirs, what was mine stayed mine, and anything we acquired together during marriage would be considered marital property. Simple as wiring a basic circuit. If you enjoy stories of cold-blooded revenge and gripping plot twists, like this video, and subscribe to the channel now. There are brand new unreleased stories here every day, each one more intense than the last. For 9 years, our marriage hummed along like a well-grounded system. We weren't rich, but we were happy. Diana worked as an HR manager for a mid-sized logistics company, earning about $52,000 a year. We talked about kids, maybe upgrading to a bigger house near Hyde Park someday. Normal married couple dreams. Then, on a Thursday evening in September 2024, everything short-circuited. Diana had stopped at the Shell station on Nebraska Avenue after work to fill up her Honda Civic. While waiting for the tank to fill, she grabbed a Brew Your Dreams scratch-off ticket from the promotional display. It was part of some massive marketing campaign by Cigar City Brewing. Grand prize $12 million. She used our joint Wells Fargo debit card to pay for both gas and the ticket. Cost her $3. I remember her walking into our kitchen that night, staring at the ticket like she'd been struck by lightning. "Wayne," she whispered, I think I just won $12 million. For about 15 minutes, I thought our ship had finally come in. Diana was screaming, jumping around our little kitchen, calling her parents on her iPhone. "We're rich, Wayne," she shouted, throwing her arms around me. "We're actually rich." That same night, Diana's entire family descended on our house like a SWAT team. Richard, her mother Linda, even her smug brother Scott, who usually acted like I carried some kind of blue-collar disease. They were celebrating, popping champagne, making grand plans. But something felt off in the wiring. The way they looked at me had changed, subtle at first, like a ground fault you can't quite locate. Diana seemed different too, distant, cold. Over the next few days, she started having hushed phone conversations with her family, leaving the room whenever I approached. When I asked about our plans for the money, she became evasive. "We need to be smart about this, Wayne. My father knows people, financial advisors. We need to protect our windfall." The guys at the Union Hall had warned me about situations like this. Jerry Kowalski, a journeyman who'd been with IBEW Local 915 for 23 years, had seen it before. "Money changes people, Fletcher," he'd told me over coffee one morning, "especially when it's sudden money. Brings out their true colors faster than a hot wire." I should have listened closer to Jerry's wisdom. 3 weeks after the win, on October 15th, Diana sat me down in our living room. Her parents flanked her like backup generators. "Wayne," Diana began, her voice unnaturally formal, "we need to discuss our situation." Richard Wilson cleared his throat. "Son, this scratch-off win changes everything. Diana's windfall needs proper protection." "Our windfall," I corrected. "We're married. What's hers is mine. What's mine is hers." The room went dead silent. Linda exchanged a look with her husband. Scott smirked from his spot by our fireplace. "Actually, Wayne," Richard continued, "that's not exactly how this works. Lottery winnings can be considered personal property, especially when..." "When what?" I interrupted. Diana finally spoke up. "Wayne, I think we should separate for a while. This money, it's mine. I picked the numbers on the ticket. I scratched it off. I want you to move out." I felt like I'd grabbed a live 480-volt line. "What are you saying, Diana?" "I'm saying I want a divorce," she replied, not meeting my eyes. "And I want you out of this house today." Richard leaned forward. "The prenup you signed protects both parties, Wayne. Diana's scratch-off win is her separate property. You're not entitled to any of it." I sat there stunned. 9 years of marriage, and they were tossing me out like defective equipment the moment real money showed up. I could see the calculation in their eyes. Get rid of the electrician, keep the millions. "I see," I said quietly. "So this was all planned." "Nothing was planned," Diana snapped. "But now that we have this opportunity, I'm not going to let anyone take advantage of me. Take advantage, that's what she called our marriage. That's what 9 years meant to her." "Fine," I said, standing up. "I'll pack my tools and get out." Diana looked relieved. Her family seemed pleased with how easily I was surrendering. They had no idea what they'd just done. See, when you work with electricity for 20 years, you learn that the most dangerous situations happen when people think. They understand the system, but really don't. They were about to get a master class in electrical shock. I moved into an extended stay America on Fowler Avenue that night, paying $98 per night. But instead of drowning in beer and self-pity like they probably expected, I did something that would have surprised them. I called a lawyer, not just any lawyer. I called Stephen Brooks, one of the sharpest divorce attorneys in Hillsborough County. I'd heard about him from guys at the Union Hall who'd gone through messy splits. His consultation fee was $500, but it was the best money I ever spent. "Mr. Fletcher," Brooks said during our meeting the next morning in his office downtown, "tell me about this prenuptial agreement." I handed him the copy I'd kept in my toolbox filing system at home. Brooks read through it carefully, his expression growing more interested with each page. When he finished, he actually smiled. "This is fascinating," he said finally. "Your in-law's attorney was quite thorough, almost too thorough." "What do you mean?" Brooks pointed to a specific clause on page 2. "Right here, Section 3.4 states that any assets, prizes, or winnings acquired during the marriage shall be considered marital property subject to equitable distribution upon divorce. But they said scratch-off winnings are personal property. In Florida, lottery tickets and scratch-offs purchased with marital funds during marriage are indeed marital property. But even if Diana had used her own money, this prenup specifically overrides that protection." Brooks grinned. "Mr. Fletcher, your in-laws just handed you the keys to the vault." I felt that familiar tingle of electricity running through my veins, the same feeling I got when I solved a complex wiring problem. "So, I'm entitled to half?" "According to this document they made you sign, potentially yes, but we'll need to be strategic. They're going to fight this hard, and they have resources. My retainer is $15,000. I liquidated my 401k and borrowed against my truck to pay it. Best investment I ever made. The guys at Local 915 rallied around me like I'd hoped they would. When word got out about what Diana and her family had pulled, the Brotherhood stepped up. Tony Martinez, our shop steward, pulled me aside during our monthly meeting. "Brother, what those people did to you ain't right. You need anything, references, character witnesses, whatever, the locals got your back." That solidarity meant more than they knew. When you've spent 20 years crawling through attic spaces and working hot panels with these guys, they become family. Over the next 2 weeks, Diana and her family showed their true colors. They hired Bradley Morrison, the most expensive divorce shark in Tampa, charging $850 per hour. Morrison fired off threatening letters, demanding I abandon any claim to the scratch-off winnings, arguing that since Diana bought and scratched the ticket herself, it was her separate property. Regardless of the prenup, they underestimated me completely. They saw some blue-collar guy who'd roll over and accept whatever scraps they threw him. They were dead wrong. Brooks and I worked methodically through October and November. We documented everything. When the ticket was purchased, what account paid for it, the fact that Diana had been buying scratch-offs with our joint Wells Fargo card for years. But the real breakthrough came when Brooks discovered something beautiful in Florida state law. "Wayne," he said during one of our strategy sessions in late November, "Florida Statute 61.075 is crystal clear about lottery winnings acquired during marriage. Unless there's a specific agreement stating otherwise, they're marital assets." "But didn't the prenup exclude them?" Brooks grinned like a man who just found the perfect ground. "That's the beautiful irony. The prenup your in-laws forced you to sign actually strengthens your claim. They specifically included language about any prizes or winnings being marital property. They were so worried about protecting their existing wealth, they accidentally gave away rights to future windfalls. Meanwhile, Diana was living it up on what she thought was her private jackpot. She bought a new BMW X3 for $63,000 in October, started shopping at Nordstrom instead of Target, and put a deposit down on a waterfront condo in West Shore for $485,000. Her Instagram was packed with photos from expensive restaurants in Hyde Park and shopping sprees at International Plaza. I started documenting her spending spree meticulously, like tracking electrical load on a circuit. The BMW purchase on October 28th. Designer handbags totaling $12,000 from Louis Vuitton and Gucci. A $8,000 weekend trip to Miami with her girlfriends. Jewelry purchases at Hyde Park Village adding up to $15,000. She was burning through our money like an overloaded circuit, and social media was documenting every amp. By November, Diana had already spent over $580,000 of the winnings. She was treating that $12 million like it was infinite power, not understanding that every circuit has limits. More importantly for our case, she was mixing lottery funds with our joint accounts, paying household bills and credit card balances with scratch-off money. In legal terms, she was commingling the asset, which would strengthen our claim exponentially. The divorce proceedings kicked off in December 2024. Morrison came out swinging like he was Muhammad Ali, filing motions to dismiss my claims and painting me as some kind of gold-digging opportunist. During our first court appearance at the Hillsborough County Courthouse on December 18th, Morrison strutted around in his $500 Hugo Boss suit, making snide comments about opportunistic spouses to anyone who'd listen. Your Honor, Morrison argued to Judge Lisa Martinez, Mr. Fletcher is attempting to claim half of winnings that his estranged wife earned through her own choice and luck. The scratch-off ticket was purchased with Mrs. Fletcher's personal funds using a promotional game she entered independently. This is clearly separate property. Judge Martinez listened patiently. She had a reputation for being thorough and fair, with 15 years on the family court bench. Brooks stood up for our response. Your Honor, Florida law is unambiguous on this matter, but more importantly, the prenuptial agreement that Mr. Morrison's clients insisted upon specifically states that any prizes or winnings acquired during marriage are marital property. Morrison scoffed. That clause was intended to cover small casino winnings or office lottery pools, not a $12 million scratch-off jackpot. The document says, any prizes or winnings, Your Honor, Brooks replied smoothly. It doesn't specify dollar limits. There's no fine print here. Judge Martinez requested copies of all documents. The hearing was adjourned for 3 weeks to allow her time to review everything. Diana looked sick. I heard through mutual friends that she'd been screaming at her parents, blaming them for the prenup language. The Wilson family started panicking like their house was on fire. They tried to settle out of court in January. Richard Wilson actually called me directly, something he'd never done in 9 years of marriage. Wayne, let's be reasonable here, he said. We'll offer you $800,000 to walk away clean. That's more money than you've seen in your lifetime. I'll think about it, I replied, though I'd already made up my mind. 2 days later, Diana herself showed up at my extended stay room. She looked different, tired, stressed. The constant partying was taking its toll. Wayne, please, she begged. We can work this out. I was scared, okay? The money, it overwhelmed me. My family got in my head. Scared of what, Diana? Sharing our good fortune? I'll give you $1.5 million, she said desperately. Cash, Wayne. We can both start fresh. I looked at this woman I'd loved for 9 years and felt nothing but pity. It was never about the money, Diana. It was about respect. She left crying. I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. The discovery phase between January and February revealed just how badly they'd miscalculated. This is where Brooks really earned his retainer, methodically building our case like I'd wire a commercial building. Every connection checked, every circuit tested, every code requirement met. Brooks subpoenaed all of Diana's financial records, showing she'd been using our joint account to buy scratch-offs for years. We had bank statements going back to 2019 proving it was a pattern of marital spending, Even more damaging was what Morrison had advised Diana to do with the money. Instead of keeping it separate, she'd been spending it freely, mixing it with other marital funds. The discovery process uncovered a paper trail that would have made any electrical inspector proud. Diana had deposited the entire $7.8 million after tax, winnings into her personal Sun Trust account on September 14th. But within days she was transferring chunks to our joint Wells Fargo account to pay bills, make purchases, and fund her spending spree. She'd moved $125,000 to pay off our mortgage, $45,000 to pay down credit cards, and $67,000 to cover household expenses and repairs. Brooks documented every transaction like a master electrician checking continuity. "She's created a commingled mess," he explained during one of our strategy sessions. In Florida family law, once separate property gets mixed with marital funds, the entire asset can be considered marital property. She didn't just step on a rake. She wired herself into the circuit. But the real nail in the coffin came when Brooks discovered Morrison had made a critical error. In his haste to file preliminary motions in November, he'd actually acknowledged in court documents that the scratch-off ticket was purchased during the marriage with marital funds. He just destroyed his own case, Brooks told me, barely containing his satisfaction. Morrison's so used to intimidating working-class people into settlements, he got sloppy. During this period, my brothers at Local 915 kept my spirits up and my resolve strong. We'd meet at Mama's Kitchen on Bush Boulevard after our monthly union meetings, and guys would share their own divorce horror stories. Big Jim Kowalski told me about his ex-wife trying to claim half his pension after cheating on him. Carlos Mendez shared how his ex tried to get alimony, despite out-earning him for 3 years. "The system's rigged against working guys," Tony Martinez said over coffee one February evening. "But you got something they don't expect. You got a good lawyer, and you got brothers who'll back your play. These rich folks think they can steamroll anybody who gets calluses for a living. Time to show them different." That solidarity meant everything. When you've shared lunch breaks on job sites for 2 decades, when you've had each other's backs working live electrical panels, when you've celebrated promotions and mourned losses together, that's real family. The Wilsons had money, but I had something they couldn't buy. Genuine loyalty from people who knew my character. The final hearing was scheduled for March 20th, 2025. As the date approached, the Wilson family's desperation became obvious. They hired a private investigator to dig up dirt on me. They found nothing. I'd lived a clean life, worked hard, paid my taxes, never even had a speeding ticket. They tried to claim I'd been emotionally abusive, hoping to reduce my settlement. Diana gave a deposition claiming I'd been controlling and manipulative. The problem was they had no evidence. No police reports, no medical records, no witnesses. It was pure desperation. Brooks demolished their claims with phone records showing Diana had made all major financial decisions during our marriage. Bank statements proved I'd never controlled her. Access to money. Her own social media showed her living freely and happily throughout our relationship. 3 days before the hearing, Morrison made one final settlement offer, $2.1 million. "It's not bad, Wayne," Brooks advised. "Taking this to trial is always a risk, even with our bulletproof case." I shook my head. "This isn't about maximizing the payout, Stephen. It's about justice." March 20th arrived with typical Florida humidity. I wore my best suit, a charcoal gray Men's Warehouse special I'd bought for our wedding 9 years earlier. The irony wasn't lost on me. The Hillsborough County Courthouse was packed. Word had leaked about the case, and local news crews from WFLA and Bay News 9 were stationed outside. Electrician fights for lottery millions had become a David versus Goliath story. Diana sat with her family on one side of the courtroom, looking pale and nervous. Morrison whispered urgently in her ear, probably preparing damage control for what was coming. I had Tony Martinez and 3 other union brothers in the gallery behind me. Their presence reminded me I wasn't fighting this battle alone. Judge Martinez took her seat at exactly 9:30 a.m. "We're here for Fletcher versus Fletcher, case number 2025 DR 000847. Mr. Morrison, your opening statement." Morrison stood confidently, but I could see sweat on his forehead, despite the air conditioning. He argued for 20 minutes that I was a vindictive husband trying to steal money I'd had no part in earning. that scratch-off winnings were personal property, that the prenup didn't apply to unforeseeable windfalls. When Brooks stood for our opening, he was completely relaxed. Your Honor, this case is remarkably simple. We have a prenuptial agreement signed by both parties in March 2016 that explicitly states any prizes or winnings acquired during marriage are marital property. We have Florida law supporting this position. And we have documentation proving the scratch-off ticket was purchased with marital funds during the marriage. He paused, looking directly at Morrison. The defendants are asking this court to ignore their own contract because they don't like the outcome. The evidence phase was devastating for Diana's side. Brooks presented bank records showing years of scratch-off purchases from our joint account. He showed how Diana had commingled the winnings with other marital assets. He even had the receipt from the Shell station on Nebraska Avenue where she bought the winning ticket on September 12, 2024. Paid for with our joint debit card at 6:23 p.m. Morrison's cross-examination was pathetic. He tried arguing that Diana intended to keep the winnings separate, but intention doesn't matter when you've already mixed the money with joint funds. Then came the moment I'd been waiting for. Brooks called Morrison's strategy into question by reading from his own court filings. Mr. Morrison, in your preliminary motion dated November 20th, 2024, you stated, and I, quote, the scratch-off ticket in question was purchased during the marriage with funds from the marital estate. Do you remember writing that? Morrison went white. That was a misstatement. A misstatement you signed and filed with this court under penalty of perjury? Judge Martinez leaned forward. Mr. Morrison, are you telling this court you filed false documents? No, Your Honor, I misspoke in the document. Brooks interrupted. Your Honor, Mr. Morrison's own filings support our position. He's acknowledged that marital funds purchased the winning ticket. The Wilson family looked like they'd been hit by lightning. Richard was sweating through his expensive shirt. Linda kept shaking her head in disbelief. Diana took the stand to testify on her own behalf. Morrison had coached her, but she was clearly rattled. Mrs. Fletcher, Brooks began his cross-examination, you testified that you always intended to keep any scratch-off winnings as separate property. Is that correct? Yes. Then why did you deposit the entire $7.8 million after-tax winnings into your personal checking account at SunTrust Bank, which you immediately began using to pay marital expenses? Diana stammered. I needed somewhere to put it. You have a separate account at Regions Bank, correct? An account your husband has never accessed? Yes, but an account with over $48,000 in it, correct? Yes. So you had somewhere to keep the money separate, but chose not to. Instead, you mixed it with marital funds and began spending freely, correct? Diana looked desperately at Morrison, but he couldn't save her. I guess so. Brooks pulled out her BMW purchase agreement. You bought this car on October 28th, 2024, 18 days after depositing the scratch-off winnings, correct? Yes. For $63,000 using scratch-off money? Yes. Did you consult with your husband about this major purchase? We were separated. Ma'am, you didn't file for divorce until November 1st, 2024. You were still legally married. So, I'll ask again, did you discuss this purchase with your husband? No. Brooks methodically went through her entire spending spree. The $485,000 condo deposit, the $12,000 in designer handbags, the $15,000 jewelry purchases, the $125,000 used to pay off our joint mortgage. Each revelation drove home the same point. Diana had treated the lottery winnings as marital property from day one. Judge Martinez recessed for lunch. In the hallway, Richard Wilson approached me one final time. Wayne, this is insanity. We'll appeal whatever decision she makes. This could drag on for years. That's your choice, Richard, but I've got time and a damn good lawyer. Tony Martinez put a hand on my shoulder. Brother, you got this. That judge sees right through their bullshit. The afternoon session was brief. Judge Martinez had reached her decision. I've reviewed all evidence and applicable Florida law. She began at 1:45 p.m. The prenuptial agreement signed in March 2016 is clear and unambiguous. Section 3.4 explicitly states that any prizes or winnings acquired during marriage are marital property. Florida Statute 61.075 supports this interpretation. Furthermore, the defendant's actions in commingling the scratch-off winnings with marital assets demonstrates her own recognition that these funds were not separate property. Diana started crying. Her mother grabbed her hand. Therefore, I'm awarding Mr. Fletcher 50% of the net scratch-off winnings. After federal taxes, the $12 million jackpot nets approximately $9.1 million. Mr. Fletcher is entitled to half, totaling $455 million. Mrs. Fletcher, you have 60 days to liquidate assets if necessary to meet this obligation. The gavel came down with a satisfying thud at 1:52 p.m. Outside the courthouse, reporters shouted questions. I ignored them all, except one from Channel 8. Mr. Fletcher, how does it feel to win? I thought about that for a moment. Justice always feels good. 4 months later, in July 2025, I used part of my settlement to buy Fletcher Electrical Solutions from a retiring contractor named Ed Kowalski, Jerry's older brother from Local 915. Ed had built a solid reputation over 30 years, but was ready to hang up his tools and enjoy his pension. The asking price was $350,000 for the business, equipment, and client contracts. With my settlement money, I could afford to expand immediately. Today, Fletcher Electrical Solutions employs 22 skilled electricians and specializes in commercial and industrial work throughout the Tampa Bay area. We've wired 3 major office complexes in downtown Tampa, retrofitted the electrical systems in 2 hospitals, and landed a contract to upgrade the power infrastructure at MacDill Air Force Base. The irony isn't lost on me. Diana's family looked down on skilled trades, but my blue-collar business now generates more annual revenue than Wilson Medical Supply. Diana had to face the harsh reality of her choices. To pay my settlement, she was forced to sell that BMW for $45,000, losing $18,000 in depreciation. She forfeited the entire $485,000 condo deposit when she couldn't secure financing without the lottery winnings. The designer handbags went to a consignment shop for pennies on the dollar. Most painful for her, she had to liquidate her investment portfolio and cash out her 401k early, paying hefty penalties. The Wilson family watched their precious daughter's windfall evaporate like morning dew. Richard Wilson, who'd spent decades lecturing me about protecting family assets, saw half of their biggest score walk out the door with the electrician they'd dismissed. The medical supply empire that had made them feel superior suddenly seemed small compared to what they'd lost through their own arrogance. Last I heard, Diana was working at Wilson Medical Supply in their Brandon office, earning $38,000 a year doing data entry and customer service, a far cry from the HR management role she'd held before. She posts occasionally on social media, but gone are the expensive restaurant photos and designer shopping sprees. Her Instagram now shows sad desk lunches and weekend trips to chain restaurants. The lottery ticket that was supposed to set her free became the anchor that sank her dreams. Scott Wilson, her smug brother, had to shelve his plans to expand the family business. Turns out they'd been counting on Diana's windfall as collateral for a major equipment purchase. Without those funds, their growth plans stalled, and Scott's ego took a hit along with the balance sheet. The guys at Local 915 still talk about my case during monthly meetings. It's become something of a legend, the working man who beat the rich family at their own game. Tony Martinez loves telling new apprentices the story, especially the part about how their own prenup became the weapon that defeated them. Never underestimate an electrician, he always concludes. We know how to find the weak points in any system. My new business partner, Carlos Mendez, handles the commercial estimating, while I focus on technical oversight and crew management. We've created something the Wilson family never understood, a workplace built on mutual respect and shared success. Every electrician on my payroll earns union wages with full benefits. When we land a big contract, everyone shares in the bonus pool. That's real family. People who have each other's backs not because they share DNA, but because they share values. The legal victory was sweet, but the real satisfaction comes from proving them wrong every single day. Fletcher Electrical Solutions isn't just surviving, we're thriving. We've become the go-to contractor for complex industrial work in the Tampa Bay area. When hospitals need emergency electrical repairs, they call us. When office buildings need their power systems upgraded, we get the contract. When the Air Force needs reliable electrical work, they trust Fletcher Electric. 6 months after the settlement, I got a call that made me smile. Richard Wilson needed electrical work done at one of his medical supply warehouses in Lakeland. His regular contractor had bailed on a deadline job, leaving him scrambling to find qualified help. Wilson Medical Supply was facing penalties if they couldn't get their new distribution center operational by their lease deadline. I took the call personally. Wilson Medical Supply, this is Wayne Fletcher of Fletcher Electrical Solutions. I understand you need emergency electrical services. The pause on the other end was priceless. Richard Wilson had to choose between his pride and his business deadline. Business won, but barely. Yes, he said through gritted teeth. We need power installations completed within 72 hours. Our emergency rate is double standard pricing, I informed him, plus materials and permits, non-negotiable. Fine, he muttered. My crew completed the job in 60 hours, perfectly up to code, with no callbacks or warranty issues. Richard Wilson paid the $47,000 invoice without complaint, though I'm sure it burned him to write that check. Sometimes the best revenge is simply being excellent at what you do. The Wilson family never spoke to me again after the divorce, which suited me perfectly. They'd shown their true colors when they thought they could discard me like faulty wiring. But the truth is, I didn't need their acceptance or approval. I had something better. The respect of my peers, the loyalty of my crew, and the satisfaction of building something meaningful with my own hands and brains. When you're an electrician, you learn that every circuit has built-in protection. Sometimes that protection saves the very people who try to overload the system. The Wilsons learned that lesson the hard way. They tried to cut me out of the circuit, but they forgot one crucial thing. I'm the one who knew how the whole system was wired. Sometimes justice isn't about revenge. Sometimes it's just about letting electricity flow where it's supposed to flow, and letting people face the natural consequences of their own short-sighted decisions. Diana thought she'd won the lottery, but all she really won was a master class in how greed and arrogance create their own failures. If you enjoyed this story, like this video, and leave a comment telling me what you thought. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell for new stories like this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.